Circle of Life right here. That's Disney. That's Disney. Yes, I don't even know what the heck. That's Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is doing fantastic. Love that. I'll never forget the first time I saw. I don't remember what movie it was, but I remember seeing the very first preview for that movie when I was younger. And they played that song, and it was like they were holding Simba or whatever the hell the lion's name was up in the air to like all the animals. Dude, I was like tears, like oh, I was sad even then, man. I was an emotional guy long time ago. There is no separation from others, something along those lines. Yeah. So let's just get into this. This fun little topic again. Wayne Dyer, good stuff. Loving this book, by the way. It's very spiritual, very into that other level that really, I try to talk about it without saying like there's a difference between where you're at and where I'm at or vice versa, right? It's not like that. It's always like wherever anybody is great, but there's this like extra layer that exists between reality and what we experience. Like there's this extra experience that's there. It's built in. It's already there. And it's like the first time we like really see it is life-changing, because then it's all of a sudden you're like aware of it. It's like Neapolitan ice cream, right? It's supposed to be chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, right? But it's like, let's yank strawberry out. Well, now it's just chocolate and vanilla. It's a totally different experience. It's not Neapolitan. And I don't know. It's just something that I always get excited when people are like, oh my God, I can't believe all the stuff that I'm seeing. It's like, I know, right? All this time it's been around you. It's freaking awesome. And it's why I do this stuff. It's why I teach it. I just think it's the coolest thing. So I try to get people excited about it so they'll, get into it. But whatever. It's good stuff to listen to too, I hope. Anyway, are we alone? No. That's obviously my answer. No, we're not alone. Never, 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 never. The loneliest I have ever been in my life, I truly still was not alone. Even if you put yourself, granted, I've heard solitary confinement. We can use that as an example maybe of the extreme. But when you put yourself inside some sort of solitary, or there's a sensory deprivation chambers, right, that you can go in and you can rent like an hour and put yourself in this chamber and you can't. There's zero outside senses. You are completely in your own world. You hear your heartbeat. You hear your pulse ringing in your ears. Whatever noises exist are only happening from you. And it's very powerful. But even in these moments, even when this can happen, you can still connect. You still do connect. You still can have experiences with other beings. Now, a lot of us, and this is truly the issue, a lot of us will have these experiences from other beings and not trust that's what they are. They think they're in their imagination. They think they're making them up. And I get it. And there's no way I can prove this to you. The only way I can prove this to you is to have you prove it to you by talking about it. That's it. And that's not proving it to you, right? That's you proving it to you. If you talk to someone that's maybe passed, that's a family member, or if you've talked to someone that is a very good friend but maybe doesn't live close to you, or it's just someone that, like, if you hear the responses in your mind or however they come across to you, and you look at them and you listen to them and you're like, that actually sounds like how they talk, you're still going to say, I could be making it up. Yeah, you could be, and you're going to talk to people that don't believe in any of this stuff. They're going to be like, you're making it up. That's a coincidence. That's not possible. That's hooey. Or voodoo and hoodoo, as I like to say. So again, what is really going on with this whole concept? It's really one of these, there's two worlds living on top of each other at the same time. They're actually really on two worlds that exist together. And within this sandwich of reality that we're going to call, looking at just the five senses, as I talked about in the last show, or in the fact that this whole separation concept, the fact that there's not this undersurface thing, if we don't kind of acknowledge that as the elephant in the room, is that what they say? It's an elephant, and then there's the 800-pound gorilla. I believe that's it. It's the elephant in the room, and then you have an 800-pound gorilla, or which, yeah, whatever. Off topic. Well, is that the first time Dan's ever done that? No, not the last either. No, that's not how it works. So are we alone? Yes, that's the big question. It's just like this old level of beliefs. Yes, no, we are not alone ever. We can always connect to people. You can call it coincidence. You can call it whatever you'd like to make it easier for the transition. But ultimately, as you start to play with it, you'll start to realize you can and will feel and hear and talk and connect to other people. Now, we've talked about thought transmissions in the past, which is a very, very popular topic, at least on my channel. And thought transmissions are the same thing. They're the demonstration of what is really happening. We truly are just beacons, like your cell towers. We are beacons broadcasting in omnidirection, all directions, right? We're broadcasting everywhere. All our thoughts, all of our words, all our deeds, all this stuff. Now, when we think of someone specific, we focus it. It's more like, now it's like mail. It's like an email. It's like a text message. Now it's very just to you. Now, others can, just like any hacker, right? Others can pick up that message. But when it's directed to someone, it's like spiritual hacking. And it's not that this, like you have a problem where they could hijack it or anything crazy like that. No. And it's also, for people that really would want to know, they're going to have a very hard time doing it. For the people that have evolved themselves to the point where they probably could tap into your message, they don't want to. They don't care, frankly. I mean, they might pick up on it when you're talking to them. You might say, I don't understand why I'm having issues with my person. And they'll be like, well, just right off the bat, here's what I feel, right? And that's just energy coming off you, right? So they pick it up. They feel it. And they can talk about it. But outside of that. So again, that's another aspect of this whole we are connected. There's more to it than that. The other one I've thought about many times too is, I mean, well, obviously, let's step it a hair back, but the whole imagining from concept, that's what that's meant to do. That's the mechanism behind that. It gets that creation, that thought bridge, that energy towards them, that connection point to them. That's why you're imagining them. You're thinking of them. You instantly create a thought bridge, as I've talked about. You instantly create a thought transmission immediately. And so then you start feeling good. You start imagining something that makes you feel love, or imagining something that makes you feel like you've got this new job, or imagining whatever. Driving the new car, sailing on your new boat, mate, right? Because you'll obviously some other, just saying. So, again, we are imagining these things because they create that reality, that feeling that comes with it. And so when you've got a thought transmission, when you've got a connection with another person, that feeling is transferred to them. A lot of people are like, well, can they tell I'm thinking about them? Well, it depends. It just depends, right? Consciously, it just depends. If they're busy, no. If they're not very sensitive, probably not. But they might. I mean, you're doing this because higher self, their higher self, definitely knows. And that's what we're creating. That's what we're trying to get moving along, get moving across. That's what we're trying to inspire. Because when they start feeling us, and it feels good, well, then now all of a sudden we're more attractive. When we think of them and we're frustrated, that feeling goes to them too. We are connected to everybody, whether you know it, whether you like it, whether you want to be, whether you don't. Some of the people that you hate the most are most likely very close friends to you on the other side. We do it for each other. We do it out of love. We do it because we want to experience what it's like to have contrast, sure, maybe, or how can I take an odd situation and turn it around and make it good and make it better, make it somehow beneficial to both of us. Maybe make it a forgiving moment where I can understand forgiveness to a different degree. We have our closest, best, most loving companions help us with some of our journey sometimes. We're never alone. Never alone. And in fact, when we finally realize the opposite, that's when you finally walk into the coffee shop, for example, and you realize that that person in front of you in line is part of your world, and for a reason. Your timing synced up. That's part of what my other next one was, is the intelligence behind the universe. That's an amazing thing. How Perfectly timings have to occur. You want to talk about coincidence and the fact that interesting things are happening because I'm thinking about them. All right, let's talk about the 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds that I bump into so-and-so at exactly this place where they never go, but I did. You have. We all have. A bunch of us have, where you bump into someone random. What are the odds of that? Seriously. You want to talk coincidence? What are the odds? They call it Occam's razor, right? The thing that the simplest explanation is the one that makes the most sense. I hope I'm getting that right. Is it Occam's razor? If I'm not, correct me, please. There's another thing that's eluding me that I'm forgetting and maybe confusing it with, but I think that's what it is, Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. Now, personally, I hate Occam's razor because a lot of people consider the answer that I don't believe to be the simple one. Like, there's fairies and UFOs and crazy stuff like that. So I like to believe in weird stuff. Occam's razor would suggest none of that stuff's true unless you're on my side of Occam's razor, in which case you'd say, like, I'm so off track, but whatever. If there's like 1,000,000 references to something, say, for example, there's been, say, 100,000 people that have witnessed unidentified flying objects, just to throw a crazy one out there. 100% of those have to be false for UFOs to not exist. 100.0%. If 0.00001% of those scenarios is true, well, then it's true, right? It's kind of the same thing with this other airy-fairy weird stuff. If you get a small little grapple into it and a small little handhold onto it, you're trying to pull yourself up. That's all you need. Trust me. We're not separate from everyone else. Can be very well that handhold. Because once you start to realize how connected we all are, you step yourself up into this other place, and manifestation becomes, seriously, a simple practice. It's a simpler practice because life takes on this whole new dimensional outlook. It's really weird. I wish I could explain it better, but it makes sense to those that are there, and those that aren't, it doesn't make sense. And it's a beautiful transition. And it's amazing. It's lovely. It's incredible. And again, life-changing forever. So hopefully all this stuff kind of makes sense. Separation from others. No. We are completely 100% connected to everyone. Everyone. There's levels to it. I've done a show on it at one point. I mean, if you're interested, do a comment. I'll dig it up. But there's levels to it. There's levels to our connectedness. Obviously, source is the highest. I think there was 5 levels is what I did. So maybe look up 5 levels. You might find the video. Then I think it wanted to go down to soul group, then soul family, then soulmate, and then twin flame. I think were the 5, if I remember correctly. Again, very cool stuff. All these things do tie together, and there are levels to our connections, but without a doubt, 100% connected through and through all the way. Hope everybody out there is digging this. Going out with another great song from an oldie, but certainly a goodie. This right here is the Beach Boys, right here on Dan Radio Style. It is, I should say the name of the song, probably. Wouldn't It Be Nice? There you go. Now it's on Dan Radio Style.
And wouldn't it be nice to live